Hello, I'm here with Dennis Martin, the Sheriff of Atchison County, in the Atchison County Sheriff's Office. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
Good afternoon. I'm the sheriff. I'm in year 29 of this particular function. This is the Atchison County Sheriff's Office. It also contains the Atchison County Jail, which is back behind us, which you all don't get to see, but that's just the way life is. This is the dispatch center, our dispatch center. There are two in the county. The Sheriff's Office has a dispatch center, and then 911 has a dispatch center. 911 calls go into 911, but there are still a lot of folks that call the Sheriff's Office directly. So when it comes in here, then my folks deal with it as is needed. We house inmates a maximum of 1 year. Beyond that, they is a felony type issue, and they have to go on to the pen or be exonerated or whatever. I can't tell you off the top of my head what our average day is. Our average numbers have varied over the last couple of decades from nobody in jail to 12 or 15 up to 20. I think 22 maybe is the most that I remember at any given point in time. Our purpose in life, not necessarily policy, but it's just my way of thinking and the way of doing things, is we are here to help. Our purpose is to do whatever we can for the citizens. You know, the corny phrase, to protect and to serve, is absolutely 100% accurate. Our purpose is to protect those in the county. Our purpose is to serve those in the county, and it is our function to do the best we can in all of those endeavors. That is the folks that are never in trouble. That includes the folks that get in trouble. That is everybody. Maybe the highest calling there is protecting your rights as a citizen, and that's kind of utmost in my mind. Here in the office, we accept applications for CCWs, concealed carry weapons permits. We have folks come in who are registered offenders. Generally speaking, those are sex offenders, although there are federal offenders that can register also. The CCW, for example, when you come in for that, you fill out your application. We have a much faster system than what it used to be, as long as the computer works. And you can literally walk in, fill out the application. If I'm available, either physically or on the phone, to okay it, and everything goes through the system correctly, you can walk out with your CCW card. There is a renewal process every 5 years, and those of you that are viewing don't yet have those, I understand, but hopefully one day you will. So behind us is kind of the whole working center. We have a security system that monitors inside and outside of the sheriff's office and jail. We have a security system up top that monitors the courtroom and the courthouse, so we can see who comes and goes. We have panic buttons in the courthouse that if something goes on, whoever is at their desk, at their location, hits the button, and that goes over the air that there is an issue at whatever office it happens to be in. But in the meantime, we're monitoring all that's going on. These are set up on motion sensors, so it may stay the same thing for a while and then it'll move on. We got to watch you all in the court. You did very well.
Grant.
Now, if I'm interested in becoming a member of law enforcement, how would I go about that?
The first thing you have to have is a desire to do it and a calling. If you are looking at law enforcement as just a job, as something with a paycheck, I don't recommend it. You have to be called to this profession. And the called can be, you just have that gut feeling. I mean, if God speaks to you, I mean, that's still being, that's absolutely being called. I mean, that's the epitome of being called. But you have to have an ardent desire to serve the public, and that is what a peace officer is. They have the term. The term is law enforcement. It's cop. It's whatever. It is a peace officer. You are a peace officer in this. In this calling. So that's the first thing. It's got to be there. It's got to be right for you. The rest of it, honestly, is an easy fix, because the rest of it is you go to an academy. There are numerous ones across the state. They range from 600 hours to 1,200 hours. You pass your exams. Post the Peace Officers Standards Training Commission issues you a license, and with that license you can go anywhere in the state and apply for a job at a law enforcement agency. If you are looking at the Highway Patrol, they have their own academy. There are several of the larger cities have their own academies, and the Sheriff's Association and numerous colleges have their own academies. So once you have the call to be there, the rest of it is just it's just a functional thing of moving forward.
Have you ever had to pull your gun in the line of duty?
I have. I have on several occasions. I have never been in a situation that went beyond just pulling my weapon. That becomes either a safety thing, a fear factor. I want to make sure I go home at night. I want to keep everybody around me safe. And if it gets to the point to where I have to do that, is because there is an unknown quantity, and that's the most difficult. The unknown is the most difficult. Knowing there is imminent danger for fact puts you in a different place in mind, different peace of mind than the unknown. When you make a traffic stop, when you go to a domestic at a residence, those are always unknowns, because you don't know what's going to happen. If you get a call that somebody is beating somebody up or is firing a weapon, that is a known. You're going into a situation. So the unknowns is where the fear factor, I would call it a respect factor. Now, are you scared? There's a little bit of it in there, and that makes you better, because it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat or on your toes.
All right, and in your 30 years of law enforcement experience, what has changed the most?
People. I love to tell the story. When I came in the early years, 1993, 94, 95, in that era, if an local individual was arrested for whatever, DWI, let's say, it was not unusual that in the next few days after they were out of jail that they would look me up and they would apologize for being so stupid. And I'm not fibbing. That is the way it was. People have changed. Society has changed. I used to say that everybody that we had in the back had a grandparent or a parent that had been praying for them. Well, we're kind of a generation removed beyond that now, and the attitude is just different. It used to be you didn't usually have anybody that was really bad. There were people that made mistakes. But in the last decade or so, we've had some people in here that were really just bad. That's the biggest change. That's the most pronounced change. Now everything else has changed too. Vehicles have changed. Technology has changed. With body cameras and with surveillance and all that kind of thing. That's just a whole different world than what it used to be.
Right now in society, there's a lot of talk about the police and defunding police and just getting in the news for all the negative. What was one thing you would want to tell the freshmen of Atchison County that they don't understand about the people behind the badge?
Well, first thing I'd say is on the areas, the communities that are where you hear about the defund the police, they should go visit those places, and they should see what it's like in an area where there is no law enforcement presence, or it's limited to where there are no peace officers. That's kind of the first thing. You should know all sides of the story. Those of us who wear a badge, as I said earlier, need to be called. If you are not called, that makes life more complicated for you, the officer, I believe. If you are called, further frontmost in your mind always is to help out who you're dealing with. And I do not lay awake at night thinking about who can I put in jail tomorrow. Never have. I do lay awake at night wondering how I can help a particular individual that is on their way to end up going to go to jail if we can't intercede and we can't fix things. And my purpose in life is to help folks as the very best we can. I love the idea of keeping them out of jail. If we can fix the problem, whether it is an addiction, whether it is anger, whether it's whatever, if we can lead somebody to the right resource and keep them out of this place back here, then that's a goal that is worth acquiring.
Thank you very much, Dennis.
Thank you.
I'm Devin Sons. I'm with the Atchison County Sheriff's Office. I'm a deputy sheriff. I've been here for 4.5 years. I actually started here in 2010. I was a dispatcher, and now I'm back here as a deputy. And I'm going to walk you through the booking room and the process. And Devin, whose name is spelled wrong, is going to be my pretend inmate. But so if we arrest somebody and we bring them in here, we'll bring them in here and they'll sit at the bench. We hook them up. I won't do that. We hook them up and take some of the stuff out of their pockets. We put it right here. We used to ink fingerprint here. We don't really do that anymore unless we can't have it set up because some people have teaching licenses and stuff like that so we still do that there. But we put some of that stuff there or up on here. The dispatcher can open up that door from inside there and they can ask questions, pedigree information, medical information. Do you have any allergies, anything like that? What are you wearing? What did you have with you? And so you go through some of that. And then we'll have you stand up when we're done. And you stand right here and then they'll get your picture that you know about. The other thing we'll do is I'll bring you over here when we're done. And this is our fingerprint machine. So we go through and it's all electronic. And so you'll stand right here and we go through the process, we enter your information and take your fingerprints. Now if it's a DWI, I'm going to shut that door, just pull it closed, you can stand right there. Pull it closed. If it was a DWI or something like that, we would have you stand over here and I would come over on this side, have your driver's license and I would fill out that information right here. And then we would have you blow. See what your blood alcohol level is. If you are an inmate and you are staying, you would come over here, and then we would find clothes. So I'd say, what size are you wearing? Extra large. Okay, so I would get you an extra large pair of pants, an extra large shirt, an extra large t-shirt. In the winter we do thermal long john things. And you would take all the clothes you're wearing off and we would dress you out in those clothes and then we would lock your current clothes up in a locker. And then you would go back over there and sit down until we remove you to the back. You would get a cup, a toothbrush, toothpaste, a thing of soap. We'd just stuff it all in the cup and 2 blankets. And then we'd give you 1 mattress when you get back there. No pillows, nothing like that. And that's what it's like to go to jail. We have these phones here, and you can buy phone card. Or we used to do a phone card thing, but now it's all online, and you can talk to friends and family or loved ones if they accept the call, or you can put money on there to pay for the call if you have that. And then we have a visitation window here. We don't use it as often because of this, because there's a video chat. But when we do have visits, somebody can come in here and talk through the phone here and talk there. But this is the booking room. This is where none of you want to be.